like to say good evening. I want to talk to you this afternoon about smoking. Now, one of the social problems that we're faced with today is that tobacco companies are enhancing or enticing our youth to think that cigarette smoking is glamorous or it's something that's cool. Cigarette smoking is being portrayed in movies and in video games as being something that's acceptable in society. Now what I want to do this evening is to discuss with you some of the methods that they're using to have our young people believe that cigarette smoking is okay. And with this, I intend to let those that may smoke know that it's dangerous for your health, and those that don't smoke to never start smoking. I want to inform you again of these things, of the health risks that are associated with cigarette smoking. We're going to talk about some ways to recognize or realize the things that tobacco companies are using in order to glamorize this product. And all the government is using they're taking some methods to try to combat this. They still got many measures left that they need to take. Scripture says that, remember that you are the temple of God, and the Spirit dwells in you. If you defile the temple, God will destroy it. 1 Corinthians 3:16-17. Now think about a story about if your grandfather was diagnosed with lung cancer. He was given 6 months to a year to live. But suddenly today you receive a phone call stating that instead of 6 months to a year, they don't expect him to make it through the night. Now, he has been smoking for most of his life, and you smoked for a couple of years, but you've been smoking products that are flavored with vanilla, strawberry, orange, and different types of enhancing flavors. And you think to yourself, surely the same thing can happen to me, or can it? Now, what I want to do is talk to you about these things that they're using to make it seem enhancing. They're targeting age groups, and not telling you about the effects that it causes on your body. And I'm also going to give you just a plain, simple truth. What makes me credible in this is that I smoked at a young age. My father smoked and his father smoked, but my father died at the age of 67, and I want that same thing to happen to you. Now I'm going to inform you of some of the new approaches that they use. We're going to discuss some of the dangers that are associated with cigarette smoking, and I'm also going to discuss the efforts that the government is making to combat that. Now, I'll validate this by using former and current cigarette ads. Again, we're going to talk about the dangers, and then I'm going to detail the efforts that the government are using. Now, up until January 2nd, 1971, tobacco companies were able to use television commercials to advertise their cigarette products. Now they use things like the flavor-enhancing products that they place on these cigarettes to appeal to our youth. And youth has always liked the flavors of candy and so forth. But the problem is that they're also using colorful packages to make this thing seem appealing. But the Surgeon General has already identified this as being an epidemic. They are targeting youth ages 12 years old to 25 years old. 500,000 middle school students and 3 million high school students are currently smoking today. The website www.surgeongeneral.com is where I got this information. Cigarette smoking is being glamorized, but there's nothing glamorous about it at all. Smokers are at a higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Secondhand smokers there have been almost 46,000 people have died from secondhand smoke, and over 500,000 people have died from cigarette smoking alone just in the United States. Now, cigarette smoking, again, has been identified as a major problem by the government, and they're making some measures to try to combat that. September 22nd, 2009, the FDA banned flavored cigarette products being advertised as a way of glamorizing the youth, or make it seem more glamorous to the youth. Now, former smokers are also taking a part in this, where you have a 52-year-old woman who has made a graphic video where she has said that cigarette smoking has made some devastating changes in her life. At the age of 17 years old, she was a cheerleader and she just wanted to fit in. But at the age of 40 years old, after smoking for quite a few years, she had to have her larynx removed, and now she can only speak through her hole in her throat. Now, we've talked about briefly in here some of the methods that tobacco companies are using to target our youth. I talked about the physical and life-threatening effects that take place, and I also talked about some ways that the government are using to identify to counter these measures. What I want you to do is to take this information and go out to the youth and you yourselves and understand the tactics that they're using, and don't be fooled by these tactics. Now, the the tobacco companies are also, as I said, they're using things such as apples, oranges, grape and banana flavors to appeal to you and make it seem flavorful and enticing. But there's nothing enticing about the usage of flavorful products that appeal to the youth, that are part of our natural diet, the fruit system. Nothing appealing about that when they're using it to cover up these dangerous chemicals that are killing us each and every day. Thank you for your attention.